Bisi was a pastry chef and a hard-working lady. She was in a relationship with Femi. He wasn't very wealthy, but at least he made her comfortable. Femi owned 2 shops where he sold phone and electronic gadgets, and he also worked as a driver of a wealthy chief. This wealthy chief, also called the real Odogwu, was celebrating his birthday and allowed his workers to invite their family and friends. Femi invited Bisi, who had always been curious to see the mansion Femi talked about. When Bisi arrived at the party, her eyes opened wide. She had never seen such wealth in her life. The mansion stood tall, with white pillars like in the American movies she watched. Inside, crystal chandeliers hung from the ceiling, sparkling like stars. Men wore expensive abadas with gold wristwatches, while women dressed in lace and George wrappers with gold and diamond jewelry. Bisi wasn't just awed by the mansion and the event decor. Many wealthy men in the city were in attendance. She felt so small and poor. Unfortunately, Femi couldn't stay with her as he had to be with the chief. She was ashamed to even greet other guests as she felt beneath them all. She slowly walked out to the rooftop lounge and was happy that it was empty but still full of different dishes and drinks. How wealthy is this man? Bisi thought as she uncorked a bottle of wine and filled the glass. To not feel bored, she watched a movie series on her phone while eating chicken. She was lost in the movie and jerked in shock when she felt a heavy hand on her shoulder. She turned to see Chief in life and in person. "Good evening, Chief," she said, rising to her feet. "Thank you, beautiful." "Why would the beautiful sun choose to stay hidden?" Chief asked, smiling as he reached out to touch her cheek. Bisi drew back and smiled shyly, bowing her head. She was surprised when he asked for her contact. "Does he have a job for me?" she thought. After that night, Chief started sending her gifts while making himself anonymous. Not knowing who was sending the gifts, Bisi couldn't refuse them still. One day, she was at work when Femi walked in looking worried and puzzled. They hugged as Bisi asked, looking surprised, "Why are you here by this time of day?" "Bisi, I'm as surprised as you. Chief is outside right now in the car, and he told me that he wants to pick his new girlfriend, only for him to give me your address." Bisi paced around looking anxious. "It's not what you think, Femi. I only spoke to him at the party. We've not been in contact since then." Femi rubbed his head. "Well, we'll talk about this later. Just follow me, Chief is waiting." They drove to an expensive restaurant. All the while, Bisi was still trying to understand what was happening. Chief asked Femi to wait in the car while he went in with Bisi. "I like you." Chief finally broke the silence as they ate. Bisi smiled and said, "Thank you, sir." He laughed and said, "That was not a compliment. If I like a lady, she becomes mine. So I want to make you mine. Do you have a boyfriend, fiancé, or husband?" Bisi, still in shock, put up a fake smile and said, "It's quite complicated, sir." Chief smiled again and said, "As my lover, you can call me Odogwu. How can a wise man be in a complicated relationship with a beautiful woman like you? Don't worry, I'm here to save you from those complications. Ha ha ha." It was after this meeting that Bisi knew it was Chief sending her all the gifts. Later, when Bisi and Femi had the time to talk, he told her that he believed her, but he was scared. He revealed that Chief was a womanizer and would do anything to keep any woman he liked. Aside from acquiring wealth, Chief derives pleasure in acquiring women. He is currently married to 5 women. He married the 5th one last year. He revealed that she was about getting married when Chief met her. Chief paid her husband every dime they've put into the wedding and sent him abroad, not to mention the many other women he sleeps with. Femi said, looking worried. "So what do we do now? Let's just wait and see how things go." Chief kept sending Bisi gifts and taking her on dates. Weeks later, Bisi went to visit Femi as he hadn't called her, neither was he reachable. She was surprised to see Femi's sister, who told her that Femi was dead. "I came to visit him 2 days ago, only to meet his lifeless body on the bed with knife stabs all over his body." Bisi covered her mouth in shock as both ladies cried together. Days later, Bisi went to buy groceries down her street and was walking back home when 2 men jumped out of a car and dragged her into the car. When she finally saw daylight, she was on a bed in a well-furnished bedroom. Then Chief appeared, laughing as usual. "My beautiful lady, I apologize for the stress. I will ensure those guys are punished for being so hard on you. I simply asked them to escort you home, but you're always disobedient." "Chief, what do you want from me?" BC said, sobbing. No, that's the wrong question. Wouldn't I be greedy to want something from you when I have everything? Welcome to your new home. I couldn't bear watching a woman I love live in that crampy apartment, so I decided to bring you home where you belong." She cried bitterly when it dawned on her that it was reality. She refused to eat and shouted at the servants to take the food away after throwing everything on the floor. But when she woke up the next morning, she felt extremely hungry. She immediately bent down and started eating the remains of what she threw away. Weeks later, Bisi found the means to escape, but a better plan came into her mind, so she decided to stay back. One morning, Chief walked into her room with a big smile. "My beautiful one, why are you still looking sad? Okay, today I want you to look beautiful. We are having a family dinner and I want to introduce you to everyone." That evening, Bisi wore an expensive gold lace dress that Chief had brought for her. When Bisi entered the dining hall, she saw 5 women seated around a large table. Chief sat at the head, looking proud like a king. He stood up when he saw Bisi. "Come, my beautiful one. Let me introduce you to the family." The 5 women looked at Bisi with different expressions. The first one, looking about 50 years old, just stared without emotion. The second, a younger woman with a round face, smiled mockingly. The third one looked sad. The fourth one was very beautiful with light skin, gave Bisi a sympathetic look. The youngest one, who must have been in her 20s, looked angry. "Family, this is Bisi, my new love." The dinner was quiet and uncomfortable. The wives barely spoke to each other and only responded when Chief asked them questions. However, over the next few weeks, Bisi secretly made friends with each of Chief's wives. She learned that the first wife, Mama Nkechi, was Chief's childhood sweetheart, who had stood by him when he had nothing. But once he became rich, he changed and started bringing in more wives. The second wife, Mama Emeka, was a successful businesswoman whose business Chief had deliberately destroyed, so she would depend on him. The fifth wife, Zainab, was the newest before Bisi. Zainab and Bisi discussed one afternoon while they were alone in the big kitchen. "Don't you all hate each other?" Bisi asked. "You're all married to the same man." Zainab laughed bitterly. "Chief made sure we fight each other. He gives one wife expensive gifts and others nothing. He praises one child and insults another. He wants us divided so we cannot stand against him." Bisi thought deeply about everything she had learned. One night, she made a bold decision. "I have a plan," Bisi said with determination in her eyes. "A plan to free us all from Chief's control." "That's impossible," the second wife said, smiling. "No one escapes from Chief Odogwu." "Hear me out. I've observed Chief for months now. I know how we can do this. I propose we work together to take everything from him. His money, his properties, his business. Let's finish that man." The women looked at each other in surprise. "Even if what you're saying is true, Chief will kill us all if we try to take anything from him," the first wife said. "Well, not if we are smart about it," Bisi replied. "We need to do this slowly and carefully. First, we need to stop fighting each other. Chief wants us divided, but together we are stronger than him." Over the next few months, the wives began their secret plan. First, they started being nicer to each other in front of Chief. He was surprised and happy, thinking they had finally accepted their situation. Bisi coordinated everything. She had gained Chief's complete trust by now. He even started taking her to business meetings, showing her off proudly to his associates. Little did he know that Bisi was memorizing faces, names, and business details during these meetings. She was building a network that would later prove useful. "Something strange is happening," Chief said one day, frowning at his phone. "Money is missing from my account." "Don't worry, maybe it's bank charges," Bisi suggested innocently. "You know these banks like to take money for no reason." Chief seemed to accept this explanation, but was getting more suspicious each day. The wives knew they had to move faster. After 5 days, Chief received an urgent call from his lawyer. "Chief, something terrible has happened," the lawyer said frantically. "Your accounts are empty, your properties have new owners, and your businesses are being taken over." In the main living room, he found all 5 of his wives sitting calmly. "What have you all done?" Chief roared. The third wife confirmed. Your property, your money, your businesses, even you belong to us now." Chief laughed nervously. This is a joke, right? What do you want from me?" Chief finally asked, his voice breaking. "Revenge. For all these years you treated us like property and like your slaves. Now you will serve us." And so began Chief Odogwu's new life. The man who once boasted of being the real Odogwu now lived in the servants' quarters of his former mansion. He washed cars, cleaned toilets, and cooked meals under the supervision of his former wives. The next day, Chief Odogwu, one of the richest and most feared men in the city, walked out of his mansion with nothing but a small bag of clothes, a little money, and a new identity, just a broken man starting over. The wives watched from the window as he disappeared down the long walkway. The 6 women looked at each other and laughed. From victims to victors, they had rewritten their own stories. They all shared the wealth among themselves and went their separate ways to enjoy their freedom.